PR Connections Radio presents
Welcome to the Crypto and Cash Show. Uncle Dan here, and we got the famous Mr. Bret Jenny over there on the other side, and hope everybody's enjoying a nice Juneteenth holiday. And it's a great way to just kind of chill out a little bit. But we're here to give you a little information, and crypto markets are a little weird right now, and they're probably going to be a little weird for a while. So we got the famous Bret here. Bret's going to give us a quick little update, and I'll be back and forth, and hopefully you guys get a little something out of this.
Well, to say that crypto's a little weird right now is an understatement. First of all, crypto's always a little weird. Let's just get that on the table. But yeah, it's interesting times right now for sure. We were kind of talking earlier this week about what a lot of people are kind of calling the crypto Trojan horse, which is, if you know anything about the Trojan horse, with the, back in the day when they used it, they basically constructed a fake Trojan horse and then stored their troops inside of the horse. And then once I got inside the castle or whatever they needed to, then it opened up and all that. So that's what they mean by a Trojan horse. And with that being in crypto is, so you're seeing right now the SEC really trying to squeeze crypto out of the US market in a multitude of ways, whether it's not giving them clear definition of anything and then trying to come back and penalize them for things that they knowingly never gave clear definition on for a reason. But what you're starting to see now is all of a sudden out of the blue, there was this Senate hearing committee last week, and I believe it was Prometheus or something like that. I can't remember the exact name. Prometheum or something like that. I think it was Prometheum. Long and short of it is, it's supposed to be a crypto exchange. And all of a sudden, there's this guy testified in front of Congress named Adam Kaplan, who's also an attorney. No one's ever heard of this guy. And all of a sudden, he's the head of this crypto exchange. And he's testifying in front of the Congress. And supposedly, he's been SEC compliant with all the rules and regulations. And they're promoting him as basically the exchange to use for crypto if you want to do it in the United States. Well, if you start delving into it, you're finding out that this is basically a decoy that the government is setting up to try to make people go about crypto their own way. So if you delve into it, where did this guy come from? And how did all of a sudden he get all this permission from the SEC when you've had Coinbase and these major exchanges for 3 or 4 or 5 years trying to get clear regulation of what they need to do? And all of a sudden there's this company no one's ever heard of that has clearance for all these things. And they wanted this guy to testify as like a poster boy for crypto and what the exchange is. So that's simply not true. Nobody really knows who this guy is. And the kicker about it all is their exchange is there to facilitate all these crypto coins. Well, none of these crypto coins on their exchange can be used until they pass clearance for what the SEC is calling a security. So they're basically saying we're open for business as an exchange, yet all their product that they're going to use on their exchange has yet to get clearance. So it's just a smoke and mirrors thing right now, But you combine that with I think we've talked about before, which is BRICS. And BRICS are a couple of different countries that have formed up to basically facilitate trade and keep the value of their trades going without having to use the US dollar. It's a way to not have to be dependent on the US dollar. And BRICS consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. And now France is talking about showing interest in wanting to become part of BRICS as well, too. So you're having these countries, and India is a huge country, Russia's a huge country, China's a huge country, that are coming together to find ways to facilitate trade and facilitate value without having to use the US dollar. And that's just going to come about more and more and more. And then you're having these other countries who are starting to embrace crypto and start to set regulations. And probably half of them are doing it just to spite the United States because they know we're not. And it's their way of kind of getting a leg up on a little bit of control.
Hey,
so,
Brad,
yeah.
what do you think that's going to do to the U.S. economy, and what you think it's going to do to the dollar when all of this, in a year from now, when all these other countries are jumping on board?
Here's the thing. With that being said, I don't see our economy coming to a crash. I don't see our dollar just all of a sudden. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a, hey, this is all gonna, the Iron Curtain's gonna be revealed here in 6 months and our dollar's gonna crash down and we're gonna be a second or third world country. None of that. It's just things are gonna take time and things don't happen overnight. All I'm saying is we're on a path that's leading to not a good end and not to an end that's gonna benefit us. It's not gonna happen tomorrow. It's going to take years, but if you don't notice, the world slowly chipping away. And it's only going to be a matter of time before something can happen out of nowhere. I mean, look at COVID. Did anybody predict that? Nope. So all I'm saying is there's a lot of things that can happen in life that can come up that people don't plan. And all it takes is one major event or two major events in a row and things to be facilitating and orchestrated behind the back end where momentum can switch. Either way, any momentum switching away from us as a superpower is probably not good because our dollar, right? So I was saying this on another podcast last week. That's what people don't understand is our reserve currency is the strongest in the world, whereas the rest of the world reveres our currency and says that the US dollar is the strongest currency in the world, and they all respect that.
Yep.
But all we do is print money, and print money. And people need to understand that America is an idea. And as long as America is an idea and the best idea that the world's ever had, in a sense, as far as that's the way a lot of countries still look at us, as long as we stay that way, we're good to go. But when that starts changing and that sentiment starts changing, that's the difference between us and, like, say, Venezuela, right? America prints as much money as we want, and we're all good. Venezuela prints as much money as they want, and they go bankrupt.
Yep.
That's the difference.
Absolutely. I see what's going on, and I've been reading a lot about what's happening, man, with the SEC. I think the Biden administration is totally in on it with the SEC. I don't
understand what's wrong with them.
I don't understand, man. That they don't get it, man. All they're doing to do is hurt us. I don't get it. It makes me mad.
Well, here's the one thing is, we've always been a proponent for leading technology and wanting to be on the cutting edge of technology. It's helped what propelled America from nothing to something.
Yep. But
the problem with this technology now, not with blockchain, okay, they don't have a problem with blockchain, but they have a problem with blockchain in cryptocurrency. And so now you're talking about technology that is messing with their monetary system.
Yep.
That's the difference. Is this technology has to do with the US dollar and it has to do with a monetary system. It's just not regular technology. Like, hey, we've invented a better car or a better TV or something, or a better computer or an iPhone. It's literally you're coming up with technology that is messing with their money.
Don't mess with the money, man. They don't know what to do. Wow, that's really interesting. You see, they're attacking the exchanges. I saw they're going, going after Coinbase and Binance now.
Yep.
And what was interesting? I was watching, man. They're actually going directly after some coins. I was reading about that. It's like 6 or 7 coins that they're directly attacking. And I'm like, I don't get it. Algorithm is one of them. I mean, algo is I thought was Polygon. What's up with all of that? That doesn't make any sense to me. But
and there's videos of Gary Gensler, who's the head of the SEC 4, 5, 6 years ago, before he was in the SEC, talking about, let's say, for example, Ripple. And he was talking about how the technology that Ripple uses, basically how it works, is helping the settlement system with banks.
Mm-hmm.
Basically saying it's not a security,
Right.
and now he's saying it's a security. But he's on video years ago saying it wasn't a security.
I think
so.
But
what the bank's doing is they're taking that technology and they're creating their own technology of it.
Yep.
It's like anything, right? Heroin is illegal to sell on the street, but we'll just make it legal through the government and call it OxyContin. I mean,
I never thought about it like that.
I'm just saying, man. That's the United States is the world's biggest drug dealer. I mean,
you're right about that.
It's true. That's what we do is we take it's illegal, then we take that exact same technology or system and then just put it through the government, and all of a sudden it's legal.
Hey, all you gotta do is change the name, right?
Yeah, all you gotta do is change the name. But obviously, OxyContin was a problem. I mean, you saw like these pharmaceutical companies get sued for hundreds of millions of dollars, and so I mean, if that's not proof that the government basically cloned heroin and then made it legal, I don't know what is.
Right.
That's just one example, man.
Wow. Hey, I guess the Breathe convention is getting a little closer. It's going to be in September now, right? You remember the dates?
I believe September 6th through the 9th. I'll have to double check. It's the first week in September.
First week. Okay.
Yeah. So if anybody, anybody hit us up or hit up the show, we would love to give you the link to that. You'll get a huge discount.
Yep.
Off the tickets, give you full access. And I mean, listen, like I think I said before, 70% of the people there are going to be founders or CEOs of companies. So if you're about networking and you're about networking with high network people who are founders and CEOs and the connections that go with that, I mean, that's reason alone to go, let alone everything that you're going to be exposed to. So.
Yeah. I have a booth there as well.
There you go.
Right next to the main stage.
And you have a booth there because you understand it's worth it. Because who's going to be there.
It's worth it.
Yep, you know who's going to be there, man. So
yeah, I know exactly who's going to be there. That's why I decided to go ahead and step it up and pony up a little money. It's nice to know the owners. They gave me a little bit of a break, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm getting all my banners together. I'm getting all my marketing, advertising. I haven't done one of those in quite a while, but I have somebody in my networking group that's doing all my graphic artists. She's doing all the graphic stuff. So it's going to be pretty exciting. So again, you guys, if you're going to in the Las Vegas area, contact us, reach out to us, and we'll get you a link so that you're not going to have to pay retail. You could be paying more of a wholesale pricing on it. And
full access. It's a 3-day event.
3 days, and you get to see Bret speak. He's a speaker there. He's a speaker. So again, and some really good speakers are going to be there. So again, if you want to come down and get just look it up online, but reach out to us because we're going to have some good things going on for you guys. So now let's kind of like change the subject a little bit, Bret. Let's talk about, man. What's going on with the inflation, man? Is that slowing down a little bit? You think? I know they didn't raise the rate.
Yeah, they're going to pause for a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
They're going to pause for a bit. So, it's going to stay around. I think it's going to stay around here. Maybe go up a little bit more, down a little bit more, but it's roughly around here for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So the feds gave away a lot of free money for a while. And so, the government says we're putting all this money into the economy, kind of free of charge. But when they feel it's done its job, then they say, okay, well, now we need to take this money back. And people don't willingly do that, so they force people's hands. Yeah. Hence raising the interest rates, right? Wow. The economy's taken off, and you've got interest rates at record low at 2.5%, 3%. What's a way to instantly get people to quit buying homes? You jack that SOB up to double the percent.
That's exactly what they did too.
And it worked. Guess what? Yes. They know what they're doing. It works every time, and it literally stopped.
Everything stopped.
I mean, I couldn't even keep up until like within a 2-week period, crickets. And it's been that way for a while. So I mean, that's you can't ask people. You have to force them, which is what they did. And now that's pretty much worked its job. They're going to kind of hang out here this is just my opinion. They're going to hang out here for a little bit, and then make the adjustments when needed. But either way, I think the worst of the worst is over with. Mm-hmm. I see interest rates getting down another point or two, but that could be 2 years, that could be 3 years.
Right,
so
right.
I know a lot of people are kind of using that we're not using that, but a lot of people, as far as buying a house right now, interest rates are higher, and I get that. I would say this: anytime that you can afford to buy a house is a good time to buy a house, no matter what market's in, because your alternative is renting. And you should buy the house and not buy the interest rate. By that, I mean that even if an interest rate is 6.5%, 7% right now, yes, obviously that's a lot higher than it was at 4.5%, 4% or whatever. Can't do anything about that. But let's assume that you can still afford the payment for whatever it is. I would go ahead and buy the house because you can always refi, right? So that house might not always be there. If it's the neighborhood you want, if it's the deal you want, that's not always going to be there. So another year goes by, 2 years, 3 years goes by, interest rates go down to 5%, 4.5%. You can just refi it, and then your interest rate's a lot cheaper. People don't understand that. It's like you're not locked into that 7% interest rate for 30 years. Like it gets lower. It goes lower, you refi it to whatever it's in, then you lock into that rate, which is why no one's putting their home on the market right now, because everyone's rate is locked in at 2.5%, 3.5%.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
why they're not selling, because then they would have to pay double for an interest.
Well, those of you who don't know, and I probably a lot of you don't know, he's not just talking out the side of his mouth. Bret is an experienced real estate broker in the Las Vegas area. So if you are thinking about selling your home in the area, or if you're thinking about moving from anywhere across the country, because a lot of people are moving to Las Vegas, Bret, why don't you go ahead and give me your background, and why don't you talk about what you do as a real estate broker?
Yeah, I'll be quick about it. So I've been in real estate for 18 years. I've been a broker for probably the last 10 years. Owned my own brokerage at one point, but owning a brokerage sounds a lot better than actually owning a brokerage. I mean, it sounds cool to say, but the reality of the responsibility behind it, and it's a whole another animal. So, but the long and short of it is, listen, if you're a seller right now, if you're in a low interest rate and you don't really have a reason to move, then you're not going to put your house on the market. But if you're somebody where you need a different situation, you need to downsize, you need to move, whatever it is, now's a really good time to sell a house, simply the fact that there's multiple offers on a lot of properties right now for resales. You believe that, Dan? There's multiple offers again. It's crazy.
Somebody else told me that the other day. I didn't know that.
Yeah, people don't believe me. I'm like, ask other realtors. I'm not just BSing you.
I was talking to another realtor.
There's no homes on the market. So you still have a certain amount of demand of buyers coming to Las Vegas, period. Uh-huh. Okay. So what are they going to do? They're going to rent or buy, one of the two. They need a place to live. This isn't a t-shirt. This isn't Beanie Babies. This is, you got one or two choices. So you still have the demand of people moving here. but who's putting their house on the market? If you're a regular seller, you're not. So now what people are doing is starting to go to new homes a lot.
Right.
And new homes is where you can probably get the incentives. I just got a buyer into a new home about a month and a half ago where the builder bought down. They did a 2-1 buy down. Okay. Where basically the first 2 years, their interest rate was 2% lower, 2 points lower. And then the next, so they're willing to do all these things. They're willing to pay for your closing costs. They're willing to do, and that's where a lot of people are going. So if you're a regular seller, it's a great time to sell because you're probably going to get multiple offers because no one's putting their home on the market.
Right.
If you're a buyer, we can definitely help with that too. Just know that with resales, unless it's a really crappy house, it's going to sell right away. But there's plenty of new homes that builders literally send me deals every single day of discounts on this project or that project or this incentive or whatever it is. So we can line you up with that as well. So
good. So you guys, we're not just about crypto, we're about everything, to give you guys to give you guys an idea of what I do is I'm one that Uncle Dan Consulting, what we do is there are different government benefit programs. And what we do with those programs is, we help the business owners that have employees take advantage of them, and they're all free. There's no cost. We don't charge up front for anything. One of the things that I just took on, Bret, is I'm now working with a company that's called Merchant Advocates, and they have forensic software. One of the biggest unregulated industries in the country is the merchant credit card processing industry. If you own a business, I've heard that. Man, you don't have a clue how bad it is.
No, I know. I few people in the crypto community that do a lot of Litecoin that own payment companies.
Oh, we need to talk.
It's crazy, dude.
Let me tell you why. What we do. We are the largest in the country that does the forensic audits. We're not a merchant credit card processing. So what we do is we just take a look at 3 statements. And what we do is we'll go in there and find all of the overcharges, all the hidden fees, all the unnecessary fees, all the miscoded fees that even if you think you know what you're doing with it, you will not find what our software is going to find. And then what we do is we'll go ahead and identify all of those, and we'll help you cut that bill. And we take a percentage of the savings. They take a percentage of the savings. And then what we do is we monitor it every month because these companies are notorious for adding fees back in after, we've identified them. They try to come back in 2 or 3 months, or it's amazing. I was looking at a statement the other day and they said we caught them on the rate. And they were supposed to lower the rate from 2.80 to 1.70. So you're looking at it says that at the top on the statement. Then you go down to the line item. You take a look at the line item. It says it's 1.70. Then you take the amount of transactions and divide that in the amount, and guess what the number came out to be? 2.80. I couldn't
so what you're saying right now, normally you would say that can't be right. That's got to be illegal. And normally you would be right. But this is where an unregulated business and what Dan's talking about, it being an unregulated business, comes into play.
Absolutely. So, what we're doing, we have some major companies that we do business with, such as the Boston Red Sox and, quite a few CPA organizations that are, like Cal CPA partners with us, the Florida Association of CPAs partners with us. And so what we do is we do the educational workshops for the business owners as well as CPAs, and they can get continuing education credits on it. And nice. It's cool. We'll teach them, man, and we'll find them. And a lot of people decide that they don't want to deal with this, and they come on board with us, and they love us, man. The testimonials we have are off the chain. It's just
your company.
It's Merchant Advocates. I'm an independent sales rep for them. Cool. Yeah, they are, and it's called merchantadvocates.com. You can go on there, look at all our partners. Oh my God, we have saved the people in the auto industry. We have saved them just man, millions. I mean, it's just amazing to it. I'm learning, I've only been with them for about 30 days, but I'm seeing this stuff that they're showing me, and I'm just like, wow, man, this should not be legal
now
to do this.
Listen, I'm not a guy that's for 1,000,001 laws. Okay.
Right.
But this is why regulation is needed and in place.
Right.
Because of things like this. Because if you let people, they will.
Yeah, they will. It is no different if and buts about it.
Yeah.
They will, man. It's amazing. Hold on, I got a spam call. Sorry, you got a good bye-bye spammer. It's spammed all day.
All day long, every day.
Yeah. Anyway, man, it's a holiday, man. I'm not gonna hold you, your audience. We're gonna thank you. We're just gonna enjoy the rest of the Juneteenth holiday. I got a little networking, a little work to do. I'm sure Bret is always busy like crazy, and I want to thank you guys for tuning into our show today. And we'll see you in the next couple of weeks. And Bret, I'll be in touch, man, because some of the contacts that you have need to know about what I'm doing, because we can really help them. All right, I'll be in touch.
Cool.
All right, man.
Thanks, everyone.